Hey guys, what's crack-a-lackin'? Somebody give me a 5 for 5, and as I get going here, guys, yeah, guys, Comet Atlas, it's performing. Check this thing out. This is on Soho, LASCO C3 uh, imager, and as you can see, guys, this is a very photogenic and bright comet. They're seeing it naked eye also. I haven't personally seen it, but right now it's actually in the daytime sky. It's crazy, but they can see it even in the daytime sky. That's how bright this thing is. Now, if this thing survives its little slingshot around the sun, it'll come back and visit again, but I'm not sure exactly how many years. But it's on more of a southerly orbit, and what that southerly orbit means is, I guess I can get into that here in just a minute. But I also want to show you guys this massive coronal hole. I know it doesn't look all like I've shown you guys holes before that were more of a hole shape, like a circular shape. This one here, you can definitely tell, and thank God SDO is back. I mean, this thing, it shows the sun unlike any other tool we have. I hope we can keep this one going. So I just want to say thanks to Stanford and getting their servers and stuff fixed after the water leak. But anyway, as you rotate that through, you see how big that gets. Okay. Now I know it doesn't look like it's open right there until about here. Most likely it was. We just couldn't see it because the corona of the sun was kind of masking it. Also, guys, I would also say this: the parallax effect is kind of in play here too. In other words, when you're looking at a sphere from a distance, the things that are here on the side will appear to be smaller than what they actually are. So in other words, you see a hole here, it's actually bigger than what it looks like. So we always keep that in mind. Plus the equatorial regions of the sun, it rotates faster than the poles. So this area of the sun obviously is going to move faster. So we are connected to this thing. As a matter of fact, I'm going to show you guys here in just a second that I do believe that we're probably already seeing the first impacts of this. And it could either be from this corona hole opening, but there was some CMEs that were going on too that were kind of small. But I've seen a couple stealthy looking ones too that they might not even have reported. But they were in the Earth strike zone, like this area. And I'll show them to you guys here in just a second, okay? I'm not sure if you guys can tell, but I'm really, really stuffed up, so I do apologize for all of that. And tomorrow, guys, I'm going to be starting, I hope to start my new schedule tomorrow. I want to put out a morning video, and I may skip the morning one tomorrow because I'm going so late tonight. But I'm going to try to live stream every night in between 7 and 10 o'clock Eastern. I want to make sure that I'm here every night for that. And I told you guys last week I was going to start it this Monday. And that's what I'm going to do. So, I knew my daughter had the Pacer game. If you guys didn't get a chance, well, I guess the main audience really didn't get a chance to see it. My daughter performed at the Pacer game, and I can't tell you how proud I am of her. It was pregame, and they, her dance. I'll just call it her dance squad, I guess. It's called they're called Devilettes. It's a high school team, but they were fortunate enough to be able to perform their routine at the Pacer game. I mean, we were there. It was awesome. Even we had nosebleed seats, but who cares? I mean, I can't tell you how. And the weather was horrible. You guys seen what I had to drive through. If you guys were to look at my previous video. And I did post the video I recorded of her performance on my members only. I'll probably release it out to the regular audience here in the next day or two, in case anybody wants to see it. I don't really, I'm not going to keep that on the members only page at all times. I'm just going to, I did that because I wanted to put something there for both people or both groups. So just understand that. And so I will be starting at my schedule tomorrow. The morning video probably won't happen tomorrow. It might. If something happens tonight, I'll be here in the morning to give you guys an update. But tomorrow between 7 and 10 sometime, I'm going to live stream. And I'm going to try to do that every night. And every morning I'm going to put out like a 5, 6, 7, maybe a 10-minute video of just conditions of what's actually going on. Just the data, show you guys this real quick and just move on. A lot of people want that. A lot of people have been asking for a while. I've been kind of hesitant because I didn't know if 2 videos a day were going to work. But, you know, we're going to try it. So, I would love your guys' support. If you guys could, please watch that morning video. It really will make a difference for me. And I hope it's good for everybody. I'm going to add some pretty cool graphics and transitions because it's going to be an edited video. It's not going to be a live stream. So, that's what I'll say there. Also, we've been having a really good time in the members only stream that we had the other night. So I hope you guys really enjoyed that, because I know I did. We watched a lot of Zoom Court, a lot of crazy stuff going on in those things. So we'll be doing more of that. Plus, we're going to be making some members only emojis that members get to use. Ripper's birthday, Rip Curl, his birthday was this past week. So I hope to get him on so we can make an emoji together. Anyway, guys, so this is Comet Atlas. This is the one we've been talking about. 13th is tomorrow. It will be its brightest tomorrow. It's at its closest approach to us. For us, I think, is the way I understand it. But so this is, this is LASCO C3. Okay. Now this is on the SOHO Observatory. So what does that mean, Wages? Right? I mean, I know you guys are probably asking. Some of you guys probably are. Well, right here's Earth. Okay. Now this website's called SEEDS. Notice here where it says George Mason University. That's who runs this webpage. It's a lot like SDO, where Stanford runs that webpage. That's where the data goes back to. Okay, it goes back to the servers at Stanford. And then they broadcast it out. So, this is what I mean. We can look at data everywhere. It doesn't have to be on one site. Now, the SDO thing, that's the main server data. Okay? When it comes from SDO, it's going to those servers. That's why you couldn't see any SDO data anywhere, because that's the main server. So any website using SDO at that time couldn't use it until it was fixed. So then it is now. So, and I just, matter of fact, there it is, right? We'll go back to this too, because I got some other angstroms I want to show you, different wavelengths of light. Now, anyway, so here is the moon. Not the moon. Wake up, you stuffy-nosed dummy. Anyway, that's the Earth. Now, the satellite I'm showing you from here is SOHO. It was put out there to really, just to kind of see and give us, it's in a warning, I guess a warning position from what I hate to use that word, but it gives us about an hour standoff before it hits Earth. Anything coming from the sun is going to hit this satellite first, because it always sits in front of us. It's roughly about an hour closer to the sun than what we are, which is about a million miles, and that's about how far it is. And again, it always stays in front of Earth. Now remember, we don't have stereo A out here anymore. It's hanging out over here. Matter of fact, it's hanging out like there. Okay. Now I'm going to be curious to see, because this image here is LASCO C3. Okay. Now if I take you back over here to Seeds, this is LASCO C2. It's on the same exact satellite, but this is a more zoomed in version. I'm not sure if SOHO is going to, LASCO C2 is going to catch this particular comet until if it makes its lap around the sun and starts going back to the south. Right now, I think, from what I can gather here while I'm looking at this may be too far north for this to see it. Okay? Now, I'm not going to say 100% there. So what I'm saying here is, once it makes its lap around the sun and as it dives back down, because it's on a southerly, most of the time this comet is south of us. It just kind of pokes its head up, goes around the sun, and back south it goes. Okay? So this also sometimes can be what hinders us from seeing this comet, because it's in the daytime sky right now, but it is bright enough that they were, like 2 days ago, they could see it with their naked eye. They can still now also, but you have to know where you're looking. It made it a little bit harder. And this thing could get brighter as we move forward here in the next day or so. And again, guys, it's going to, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if this thing makes its lap around the sun. It's already getting obliterated with solar wind, which it always does. Okay, but as it gets closer to the sun, you know, if any CMEs happen, any of that stuff, and it hits it, you know, we could see a really good show here if it really, you know, does a number on this comet. Now, obviously, this one is a little bit bigger than most of them that we show you, because number one, it's brighter, and you can kind of tell, like right here from the light source, that really does look pretty big. Now, and the reason why I'm saying that is we do have a rough idea. Well, they probably have an exact location for this thing. Okay, so I can tell you right now that it's way closer to the sun than it is to this satellite. So what that means is this is bigger. This is a big one. If this was actually close to the satellite, you know, if it were to pass real close to the satellite, it would probably block it out. There would probably be an eclipse of some sort. But it didn't do that. Now, again, guys, 93 million miles away and still that big. It's a decent sized rock, guys. Okay? And I am sorry for posting a little bit late tonight, guys. I didn't really want to do that, but I had to, yeah. Guys, okay, I'll just say this. I had pneumonia a couple weeks ago. I went through a round of antibiotics, and I don't like really just making this show about my health or anything like that, but I want you guys to have answers on why I didn't, you know, stream as much as I was there for a while. Well, I thought I kicked it, and I didn't. I still have it. So I'm going through another round of antibiotics, and it really sucks, and it just is what it is. Stuff like my daughter yesterday, or Friday, you know, I wasn't going to miss that for the world. I promise you that. You'd have had to, yeah. And plus, we had to, I got plantar fasciitis in my right foot, and we had to walk up all those stairs. I mean, we were in nosebleed seats, man. I mean, I might as well have been sitting on this satellite. We were way up there. And, you know, but it is what it is. I had a great time. It really was. It was fun. And I was so proud, and I'm glad she got to experience that. She's a senior this year, and it just is what it is. I could probably show it to you, because it's on my channel, but it's under members only. We'll work on that yet tomorrow or something. But anyway, so Dr. Tony Phillips here is talking about the same thing. This is the biggest story right now in space weather. Okay, so I do want to, you know, point it out. Now, this is what it looked like. You see that? You probably can't see it very much, can you? Well, they zoomed in here and you can see it. Right? Now, if I take you back to yesterday, I'll show it to you again. But here it is again. This is in the daytime sky, guys. Okay? So let's take this back to the 12th. Dr. Tony Phillips does such a great job over here. I just can't say it enough. Let's go back one more day. Okay, yeah, that's the one I wanted. Okay, so you see this? There's no filter there. That's actually what the sky looked like. That's the comet. And it is very low on the horizon when they're able to see it. So, and I'm not sure exactly now if that's the case. But again, please come over here to Dr. Tony Phillips' webpage and check this out. Please read this article. He's talking about here. This is Comet Atlas in the daylight, and you know it's tracking it right here. Okay, so and it is going to be as close as it's going to be on the 13th. So, you know, that's the best chance we got of really seeing it. Really good. So if you got, especially those of you that are in the southern hemisphere, and I know I don't have a whole lot, but I do have. Well, I got quite a few. Okay, but you know, my friends from down under, I love my Aussies. I really do. and that's what it's on my bucket list to get over there and visit you guys. It really truly is. Okay. Hey, Jammer, Wise Jim, what's up, guys? Stephen A. Good to see you guys. And by the way, guys, Jammer bought me some really cool headphones and sent them to me. And I got the headphone part of it working right now. I don't have the mic on it right now. I need to set that up just a little bit better. But thank you, Jammer. You mean that was so awesome of you to do that for me. I really appreciate it. Hope between your dreams. I like it. Yeah, my life is my family, guys. Hey, Major, what's up, bud? I ain't seen you in a minute. Hope you're well, my brother. He's over there in the UK. All right, now, so guys, we're getting hit right now too. Remember, I said that, and I do think it's either coming from this coronal hole, or I want to change this because I was able to see some stuff in this, the 171 angstrom. When I was kind of getting ready for the show here. Something else I'm figuring out, guys. When I go to post my live streams, if I change the time of it to go earlier or later, it always jacks up the notifications. And I hate that. So when I post from now on, I'm going to try my best to be here at that exact time. Even if I'm ready before. Or if I'm running late, I might just start the stream up and you guys can watch me pull the windows up. Okay? It's just what it's going to be. But anyway, this is SDO, guys, and as you can see, you can't really see that coronal hole, can you? It's because it's a different angstrom of light. Now, this is the 171, and it sees different gases. That's the difference here. So we're looking at specific gases. I'm not really sure what this specific gas is. Also, we had an eclipse here on the satellite. Yeah, you can't make this stuff up. You just can't. So let me show that to you first before we get. It's right there. But so we'll walk it through, and you guys will be able to see the eclipse here. This sat. It did that to me, right? So I stopped and started backing up frame by frame, and that's what I get. Okay, so you see what's happening here is the satellite is actually behind the Earth in reference to the sun. In other words, the Earth is passing between the satellite and the sun. It's getting in between it. And it's not doing it all the way here. It takes it a minute here, as you can see. So if I go forward, there's your complete blackout. And then if I go forward again, you can see how it's exiting out this way. Right? So let me back it up. And there's the first initial, right? And there it is going away. Now you're probably gonna ask me, why did it go this way and then reverse? Because of where the planet is and where this satellite's at. Okay? It wasn't completely occulted. Alright? It wasn't completely blocked. There was not a full eclipse right there. In other words, this satellite was in a position that it stopped in the middle of it being eclipsed. It appears that everything stopped, but it didn't. The satellite was still moving, and because of that, it made it appear that the Earth had stopped. And when the satellite kept moving, it made it seem as though things moved backwards, right? And it doesn't. It doesn't move backwards or anything like that. It's just the orbital mechanics. And I've explained that before. I didn't do a very good job that time, but you know, it is what it is. Well, thank you, Jeremy. I am feeling better. I still have pneumonia. I'm going through another round of antibiotics, and I want to make sure that, you know, I get better. So I'm trying not to wear myself out. I do sometimes. I get, you know, I just won't quit. And you guys know how I am. I don't like not being here. Thank you, Planet Hermit. Remember, for 8 months, baby. I'm telling you, you're a rock star. And here we go, Jeremy. Remember, for 9 months. You the man. Keep rocking it, guys. I do plan on doing a members only also within the next couple days. But I'm going to work into that schedule, guys. Okay, remember that. I'm going to do a morning video, edited video, and a live stream at night. So hopefully you guys like that. And I would really appreciate your support, especially on the morning video. It's only going to be 5, 6, maybe 10 minutes long. I'm trying to keep it 10 minutes or less. Just do me a solid and come over here and watch it. It's going to be just basically me showing you this and moving on. I'll give very brief explanations, but I'll do the more depth explanations during the live streams at night. Okay? Well, thank you, Hunter. I really do appreciate all the well wishes, man. I really do. It's awesome. Hey, Kathy. Aloha, guys. CR user. Okay. Somebody give me a roll call in there, if you would. And so we are getting hit right now. And I don't know, again. Oh, I forgot to show it to you on SDO. So what I'm seeing here, now, this starts back on the 11th, right? I wonder why I did that. Hold on a minute. Let's see if I see what I... Give me 1 second, guys. Yeah, I'm going to have to go back a little further here, I think, to show you. I need to go back to the 9th because that's when I seen... let's see what it gives me here. We're going to let that load, okay? Well, it's loading now. But let me show you this, okay? This is the HP. Check it out. We almost got to a G1 storm. I mean, for all intents and purposes, we were in a G1 storm for about, I don't know, 2 hours right there. So, again, it's not a big deal, but it happened, right? And you can tell here, too, on the KP, it's the same indice. It's just, this is a 3-hour average, and the HP, this one here, is a 30-minute average. So they only plot 1 bar every 3 hours here. So when I seen that, I was like, whoa, that's about as big as the geomagnetic activity. The KP's been that high in quite some time. Hey, Mist, you're awesome. Yeah, for sure. I can't tell you guys how much probiotics can help you. Guys, and this is going to sound off the wall. Okay? But I worked at a factory, and we made food containers, right? So we made Dannon yogurt, and we made probiotics containers for them. They put their probiotics yogurts in there, and I learned a lot about that. And just doing that, get yourself, on a regular schedule, if you know what I mean, without going too far in depth, it will clean you out and in a way and keep you moving that the toxins won't be in your system as much. Obviously, there's other ways to do that, but on a regular basis, that's a good thing to do. Plus, I'm sorry, but yogurt with fruit and stuff in it tastes good. So, okay. Now, oh man, I missed the roll call here. Hold on. Let me go back here a little bit. Oh man. Let's see here. We are also heading for a full... Yep, we sure are, CR. Let's see here. Yeah, I got you, Christopher. Not a Colton. Alright. Days mixed up since Christmas. I'm kind of the same way. Let's see here. Present. Thank you, Wise Jim. Good to see you, bud. Deb Denny from Indiana. Fellow Hoosier. Love it. Planet Hermit from the famous West Central Minnesota, USA. Eastern Washington. That's where Jeremy's hailing from. John Baldwin's in the house. Southeast Texas. Rocking and rolling. Here we go. Richard, California. Love that, love that, love that. Always do. Southwest Arkansas. James, what's happening? Pam B, my neighbor from the town over. Heck yeah. Stephen A, what's up? Let's see here. Yeah, sinus infection since that. Yeah, I don't know much about that. I mean, I seen all the reports you guys did, but not a whole lot. IG, I hope you're feeling better. I knew you were kind of under the weather there for a minute. And if I'm not mistaken, you said you were going through some testing. Why don't you email me and let me know what you got going on there? I mean, I kind of know a little bit, but I don't know what the results were. If you don't want to put it in the chat. I mean, I understand. I'm concerned. I get a little concerned about people, and I'd be much appreciated to get to, send me an email, kind of keep me informed there. But she's hailing from the Mojave Desert. Danielle, what's up? Get better soon, Mark. Thank you. Thank you, Daniel. Um, Checking in from Northern Iowa. What's up? Okay. April Vasquez. West Texas, baby. Yeah. Yeah. Alrighty. British Columbia, West Coast. Love you all. Love it. Love it, Mark. Love it, Mark Lewis. Alabama. Heck yeah. Hey, Jeremy, thank you. Yeah. Yeah, I actually talked about the I'm not sure if you're the one that were kind of pointing out the planetary alignments, Jeremy. If you were, thank you for doing that. Because I sometimes forget to mention that because it most certainly is a big factor in some of the things that we see. Okay? Matter of fact, I think I took 10 or 15 minutes during the show the other night to explain a little bit about that because it is important. It really is. They can cause things. They can planetary alignments really affect everything. To be honest with you, let me go here with this NASA CME tracker, and I did this on purpose. Okay, guys. So take this line right here. Notice how all the planets in the inner solar system are on one side. That makes a difference, guys. Things change when that happens. And some of it's because sometimes the planetary, our connection to the sun. Remember, guys, everything's connected to the sun. What's that mean? Well, it means all planets are all sweet poly purebred. I kind of like that's a pretty cool name. I ain't seen that one before. Planet Hermit. Thank you. Whoever gets those gifted memberships, better tell Planet Hermit thanks. That's some good stuff right there, guys. It truly is. Man, I tell you. Again, guys, I'm so humbled when you guys do that. I'll give you a proper thanks here in a minute, Hermit. I promise. But anyway, you got this everything over here, and if one of the planets actually, the connection line was to cross the other connection line from another planet, what do you think's going to happen? Especially if, like, here's the other thing too. I've said this before too. Not only is everything connected to the sun, but because we are connected to the sun, we are connected to everything the sun is connected to. Do you get what I'm saying here? This is what people have a hard time understanding this. Okay? We're talking magnetics. We're not talking about anything gravity at this second. Now, planetary, like when you get straight lines and stuff, gravity absolutely becomes a factor. Okay? But I want to tell you that when you got a planet, say, over here, and it's directly in line with us, and our magnetic connection lines are almost straight with one another, it's almost like we become a complete circuit with that other planet. Now, I know it's not really technically what happens, but it really, to give you guys just kind of a, I guess, a spitball explanation of what's going on there, without going into depth, that's that makes a difference. Plus, like I said, guys, see how all of these dashed lines are connected to the sun? Notice how they're connected to the satellites too. Again, if you were naked up in space, you would be connected by your left butt cheek to the sun. There is no doubt about it, right? So anyway, when that, if our connection here is on the sun and everything else is connected to the sun, doesn't it make logical sense to think that, hey, well, guess what? If we're all plugged into the same wall socket, I guess we're all connected, right? That's kind of how you got to look at it. Now, granted, this wall socket is dispersing electricity throughout the whole house, right? So the amperage kind of gets a little bit less as it spreads out. Micaiah, thank you. Wow, very generous. Thank you for that. Hope between the dreams. Well, thank you. I sure will. Thank you for that. Hey, Heather Joy, good to see you. Thank you, guys. You guys are awesome. You truly are. You are. You guys are just awesome. I'll tell you, I've been in a funk. I'm not sure if I've been trying not to bring it here. But I'm coming out of it, and a lot of it is because of you guys. I'm not kidding. Not because of this right there in particular, but just the conversation I have with you guys. It really does make a difference in my life. So thank you guys for that. I can say that. I would say that every day, all day. I really would. You guys make a huge difference in what my attitude is like. If I'm having a bad attitude and I come in here and man, I don't want to do a live stream right now. I got to set all this up, da 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 da. And if I go ahead and push through and get to it, I'm always feeling better at the end of it. And that's you guys. That ain't me. So thank you for that. You guys don't even know you're helping, and you are. So, plus when you guys give the super chats and stuff like that, obviously that's a good thing for me, and it helps support and everything. And thank you for that. And I am so appreciative. Again, I wish there was a bigger word in our language to show how much I am. But anyway, if your left butt cheek is connected to the sun out here, well, guess what? Maybe Venus might give you a little smack on the booty once in a while with its magnetic line. So what I'm saying is, when we're all over here on this side, it does. And I know I'm kind of throwing a little comedy or just kind of having fun with this, but there is a lot of serious stuff that does happen, especially when you start bringing in the gas giants. Now, I would imagine anybody talking about planetary alignments is going to tell you, and I'm pretty sure Jeremy knows this, is going to tell you that anytime the gas giants, especially like Jupiter, is in alignment with anything in our inner solar system, it has effects. Okay? Now, I'm not sure exactly what people believe as far as, is Jupiter a failed star? Most people think so. Does it matter to us at this point? Not really. But well, thank you, Jeremy. You guys are just, wow, so cool. So cool. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it. But again, when you start bringing in, and then if you take and you get two gas giants in alignment, or even three, I mean, you're doing a whole lot of magnetic pulling, pushing, not to mention gravity. There's a whole lot of stuff that can happen. And if you were to go back and look at the data, you most certainly would see it in the data. Okay? I've done that. I went back and looked. I didn't do some big, humongous paper on it or anything like that. But I spent a few hours trying to, just understand and look at the data, what happens during planetary alignments. And a lot of times, like our bigger seismic events, a lot of times you'll have a planetary alignment at the same time. Then you throw on a coronal hole. Every time, guys, let me say this. Every time we have substantial coronal hole facing Earth, let me go back to the 211 on this while I talk about this. But we have seismic uptick every time. IG will tell you. IG, the reason why I always go back to her on that is because she's one of the main moderators over on Ron's channel, Emergency Management Associates. Get over and check him out if you haven't. He reports on, obviously earthquakes and seismic activity and other things. He's also a prepper and so that's what I'm saying. He's got good information. And he's a brother of mine, so I'll just leave it at that. Now, when we got these coronal holes facing us, you cannot deny the fact that these things affect seismic uptick. And let me tell you why. When you look at the historic data and you compare, hey, we had a substantial, hey Renee, we had a substantial seismic uptick on this day or during this week, and then you go look at and see if we had any substantial sunspots, not sunspots, but coronal holes. Almost every time they line up. It's amazing. So at that point, it's almost like, well, how can you say it doesn't really affect anything? Because it is. It's right there in black and white. You can see it. I don't believe me. Go do it yourself. Seriously, go look at. I mean, you can go just type in the last 10 years most eventful seismic events or whatever, and then come here to SDO and switch the date to those dates. I promise you, most of those dates are going to have a coronal hole facing Earth. Because I did it. Okay, but back to this real quick. Now, if we're not connected to this big long coronal hole, we will be. But I do think we are. I think we connected to this thing probably yesterday or the day before. And so it's going to be sending high speed, more dense particles our way. Now remember, it's a hole in the corona, not a hole in the sun. It's a hole in the atmosphere. It's black on these images because the actual surface of the sun is colder than the atmosphere. So I want to make sure that we understand that, okay? For sure understand that, because that's important to understand. So just let me say that. Now, yes, thank you for posting his link there, IG. Guys, he's in my awesome channel list too. I got a playlist channel, or just a sub channel list. It's called Awesome Channels. I would highly suggest you guys go check that out, because there's a lot of good people on that in that, and it's not a bunch. Okay, I try to keep it small because I don't want to have some big channel list there and then nobody clicks on nothing. So I really do pay attention to who I put there. I haven't really checked it in a month or so, though. I probably need to go revisit it, see if anybody needs added to it. But anyway, so you get this happening with this. We're connected to the coronal hole, but let me. I want to show you guys on this 211. We can see the atmosphere, or the corona of the sun, react better in this angstrom of light. Whatever gas is there, it shows it to us. So I'm gonna back this up, and I'm gonna show you guys back here on the 9th. I'm just gonna back it all the way up here. This is the Earth strike zone, right? It's like a rectangle, like a batter's box. You stand in the batter's box and you got a strike zone. It's like if you're standing behind the plate calling the game, right? Balls and strikes. And they're gonna probably put robots back there eventually, but whatever. Anyway, but check this out, just all around this whole area. Okay, right there is probably the most significant one I would point out. Now, you wouldn't see this on some of the other angstroms. This is why I'm showing it here. This is directly in front of Earth. And that happened about midday on the 9th. So it would line up to the time frame right now. If it took that about 3 days, which is the average, to get here, that theoretically could be that. Now, we had a couple more. There was one down here, but that wasn't until like the 10th or 11th. Okay? So, yeah. Now, also, when this one did its thing, I want you guys to notice something here. Not only did we have a disruption here, the whole, this whole part of the sun did. And so, I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so it starts right there. Now, watch these other areas. Just kind of zone out as you're looking at the image. And kind of pay attention to look right in the middle of the sun. And pay attention to your peripheral vision as you're looking at it. And you'll catch the other things that are happening. Did you see that? Did you see how this one over here got a little darker and spun a little bit? And then over here, this area got active. And then we had a CME over here clearly blow off. Watch. Most people are going to miss that because it was on the back. Okay, there was one. I'll show it to you here again. See that? Now, I'm going to keep moving. And then right there. Okay? So the whole sun was reacting all at once. So I just want to make sure you guys see that, because it will give you a better understanding of what's going on. When something happens on the sun, typically it will destabilize other areas. That's just what happens. Especially if they're communicating sunspots. Communicating sunspots means that they're actually transferring particles back and forth. to a different sunspot through a magnetic connection line. And when they're doing that, they have a tendency to flare at the same time, or even have CMEs at the same time. They call them communicating sunspots. That's why. Okay? But, so let me take you guys here to the end of this run. Well, I can show you that eclipse again, too. This angstrom showed it a little bit better. See that? See how it appears to stop, but it didn't. Okay? All it meant was the satellite didn't go all the way behind the Earth. Okay? It only made it just a little bit, and then and now tomorrow may be a different thing. Tomorrow it may be completely occulted. I don't know. So, yeah. Now, so let me take us to the end. Wow, guys, my nose is getting really stuffy right now for some reason. I hate that too. Because then your mouth gets dry because you got to breathe through your mouth. And I'm doing talking. It's crazy. I've never been, guys, I'm just going to say this. I haven't been this sick in 25 years. I'm serious. I mean, I was down and out for about a week and a half. And I know I already told you guys about it. But I got the same thing and I just haven't kicked it yet. So, we're getting hit, right? So let me show you the Discover data and then I'll show you that model I just had up there. Look. -6, right? On the BZ. I explained what the BZ was in a little bit more in depth about 2 videos ago. I'm not going to do it tonight, but I'm going to make a specific video just explaining what the BZ is. And I'm going to try to get some cool graphics for you and that kind of thing. Make it look as professional as some redneck hillbilly myself can get. But we know that when we get -6 on the BZ here, the magnetic orientation, things come in easier because we're pointed magnetically and we're just open to it. I'll leave it at that for right now. But when we're in a negative position, we accept things better, right? So everything comes in, we get more aurora, more geomagnetic storming, all that. But look what's happening right now. You see that? We're in the positive. So when we're in the positive, the opposite happens. We deflect things. So I say this because if we were down here in the negative right now, we would be in a geomagnetic storm, and let me explain why. We still almost got to a 4 or a 5 on this, right? On the KP, with us being pointed to the north. So if we had been pointed to the south, most likely this thing would have been G1, even possibly G2. It got to almost G1 anyway. So I just want to make sure you guys understand that, because it gives you guys another thing to look at to understand why the KP is such a critical data point, why it affects everything so much. And the more I can show you guys this, the better it just clicks in, right? So this was at the turn of the day, right here on the 13th, right? And let's see here. Yeah. See where you guys see where that's the 2200 hour. So there's about 2 or 3 hours right here we were in -6 or more, right? And then it went positive again. So if we look at this is the first 3 hours. So just prior to us, right here, we were actually in the negative for a while. So that's probably why this got to a 4, and then we went positive and it stopped everything. We started deflecting things. So let me show you here on the magnetopause model. Again, this magnetopause, this is a bow shock. Okay, it's the first point of contact from space weather to our magnetic field. Hey, Virginia, good to see you. Hey, Pause, what's up, man? Is that J Pause? Changed your name, didn't you? Took the J off there. Oh, you know what? I'm sitting here looking at my chat. I want to take a screenshot and I'll show it to you later, J Pause. That's funny because you left 2 comments, and on the first comment it just says PAS. That's it, like pause. And then we got J Pause. Then the whole name came across on your second one when you said hi to Stephen A. I'll show you the screenshot later. I'm not going to do it right now. I took a screenshot of that so I can show that to you. It's pretty cool. Yeah, Hope Between Dreams. That's, yeah, for sure. It's kind of crazy, isn't it, J Pasta? That kind of stuff happens. But anyway, we got the bow shock here. First point of contact, space weather to our magnetic field. And so when we get hit, things are coming from left to right. This is a top-down version. This is a side version. Now I want you guys to look at this. See this right here? How this kind of points here? And then we're going to get another point here. Do you see how that kind of points towards the north? You see that right there? Z. That's the Z in BZ. Okay? Pretty much. It's a Z cut. I'm not going to get into all that stuff right now. But anyway, this model here is even kind of showing you that northerly point. Right? So, this is velocity. Speed only. And see how we're reacting? There was that initial hit right there. Look at that. Okay? And then we fight back. That's what happens. So I just wanted to show you that on the velocity. Now this density is interesting. Okay? Matter of fact, I'm going to hit play and just watch it with you guys. This is density only. Now watch all the weird stuff that happens in here. Now remember, oh crap, I should have paused that. Oh, right there. Okay. I don't want you guys thinking this is the bow shock. It's not. The bow shock's out here. See that? So when the density is the same on one side of the bow shock as it is the other, like right here in the front, it's going to appear like it ain't there. But it is. Okay? So people make that mistake all the time, and I did for years myself. I did. And as soon as I figured out, I felt like, you know, oh my gosh. You know, I've been saying something different for, gosh, over a year. The first thing I did, I came to you guys and told you guys sorry and corrected it. But it still didn't make me feel all that warm and fuzzy, you know, being wrong like that. Anyway, but notice, you see that? You see how we kind of opened up? The density got a little bit more intense right there. So things were getting through. Right there. That's why it got more dense. That's what happens. Notice how we'll see things kind of look like they appear to come from back here and hit. I've explained that before. We get hit in the front and it kind of breaks one of the magnetic field lines. And then as it's flopping around and space weather's pushing it this way, it'll reconnect. So when it reconnects, what's it do? It reconnects back here. Because it's already back here. Alright? So that's the only way it can. But that's what happens. That's a very general explanation there. It's very basic. Now see what I mean by a straight line here? You can kind of see it there. But again, you can see how it's kind of pointed towards the north. So when we are pointed that direction, we do defend ourselves a little better, if you want to use that, you know. Hey, Kathy, thank you for being a member for 6 months. Awesome stuff, guys. Awesome stuff. Anybody that's a member, guys, please remember you have that free super chat each month. Okay? But yeah. I love it how you guys have those conversations down in there. I really do. I think it's cool. You know, because the world isn't all space weather to Wages World. You know what I mean? And, you know, a lot of times what you guys are talking about now. Hey, Trish, good to see you. I think I said hi to Wygen earlier. Manifestations, what's happening? Okay, so this is magnetic pressure. Now, you're going to see similar things, but we all understand pressure, right? So, this is magnetic pressure being put on our planet. So, when that red gets, you know, starts getting compressed in, now, again, that right there was a clear hit, right? We took something from the sun right there. Watch what happens. Boom, and watch the flanks. Watch here. They're going to go red all the way back. See that? Also, notice how the oval here is now an oval. It's not just a circle. It flattened everything out because we were getting hit. Lowercast Citizen, what's up? Yeah, I do. I'm sorry. I know it probably bugs some people. I really do apologize. I hate coming on here with the stuffed up nose. It really bothers me. I have to keep taking a drink because I'm breathing through my mouth and all that. But anyway, there you go with that. Now, let me show you guys the Geoelectric model. Here we go. By the way, Jammer, if you're still here, brother, thank you again for those headphones. They sound really good. I really do enjoy them. So thank you. It's going to make a big difference here too once I get the microphone plugged into them, because everything's wired and a lot of the interference that sometimes you guys can hear will probably go away. And I'm going to hook it up to the mixing board he gave me too. I'm going to do some sound effects. Anyway, this is the geoelectric field model, and as you're looking at this is the geoelectric field at the surface. Okay, so it's space weather's effect on unnatural electrical components. That's what this model is trying to represent to you. It's showing you space weather's effects on unnatural electrical components at the surface. Unnatural means anything not made by nature. Wall switches, batteries, your car, all the wires in the wall of your house. I mean, just anything. So that's what this is representing. Why are they doing this? We know that that space weather affects seismic uptick, right? Already went over that with the coronal hole conversation, right? Now I was just pointing directly to coronal hole, but if we understand why, not just an observation, hey, we have a coronal hole and then we get a seismic uptick. You still got to try to understand why, right? So not just with coronal holes, but anything space weather related. So they're trying to bridge a gap here to really try to help forecast things. And let me just use an example, okay? Just keep in mind that if we could have given, say, a 10-minute extra warning time to those poor guys over there on the border of China and India during that massive earthquake the other day, do you guys really think all those people would have died? Most likely not. You know, some of them probably still would have. You're not going to be able to control buildings falling and stuff like that with those kind of warnings, but you can let those people know so they can take the proper action to get away from all the stuff that's going to fall on their head, right? When we were in school, we were, you know, I lived in the Midwest. Obviously, I'm a Hoosier, so we would actually do hurricane drills, not hurricane, but earthquake drills, because of the New Madrid fault. That's why we did them. But they always told you to go the doorway, but when you were in class, they wanted you to get underneath the desk and all that, right? So, you know, just if your kids, just like if you lived over there, just think about that for a minute. And your kids were at school when this happened, wouldn't you want them to have an extra 10-minute warning? So that's why this kind of research and this kind of observations and models and all these agencies working together and everything else, it's a good thing. So I just want to make sure that we understand that, because it truly is. And I know that there's a lot of people out there that can actually forecast stuff coming, but there's nobody out there that can tell you within 10 or 15 minutes of something happening, right? It's not like somebody could come up to you today and tell you that in 4 days and 10 hours from now, you're going to have an earthquake out here at Salt Lake City, and the lake's going to burp, and it's going to turn into one big gigantic geyser, and it's going to trigger this, and it's going to trigger, you know, you see what I'm saying? You can't do that yet. Nobody can do that. Somebody can tell you that, hey, we need to watch this area, right? That's all we can do at this point. No matter who you're talking to or about. That's what their forecasting is. Now, they'll give you a direct location, and basically they'll say within like a 50-mile radius, And I have to say, some of them have gotten really good at it. Okay, and I'm not going to start putting names out there or anything like that. I'm just not going to do it. I don't do that. You guys all know who the bigger ones are, so we'll just leave it at that. But like I said, I go over to check out Ron over at Emergency Management Associates. He goes pretty in depth almost every time we have, well, not almost, every time we have some sort of event. And even when we don't, he'll help you understand even the smaller stuff. It's it just is. It's a good place to go learn. And he's a great guy. So, anyway, I wanted to make sure we understood why we even look at this model. And the other reason we look at this, if this thing is moving, that means we're getting hit with space weather. Remember, this is geoelectric. This is geomagnetism. They're two different things. But they react to each other. And most of the time, magnetics and electricity or electric fields and magnetic fields, when they're hit with space weather, they're going to react very similar. Okay, so I just want to make sure we understand that. Okay, alright. Let me see if I got this taken care of here. And again, guys, I always will keep you up to date. It doesn't look like we have a whole lot of stuff happening on the sun right now, except for this coronal hole. So I do want to show you, well, no, I don't really need to show you that, I guess. But if we get any CMEs or anything that happen, and I'm going to keep an eye on this comet too. Remember, this thing's only going to be around for another couple days if the sun don't burn it up. And what I mean by that, the solar wind and all that, it's not in the position that I think it will be a sun diver. It's a sun grazer, which means that it's going to come in on its orbit. Well, I tell you what, let me bring this model up. Okay. Matter of fact, I'm just going to hit reset on that. Yep, see how it moved even further? So here's the comet, right? And again, we're not going to be able to see it. What you're going to see here, guys, it's going to move this way. See how it's kind of tipping to the south a little bit already? What you're going to see when it gets probably about here, it may even go off the screen again. But when it starts taking its southerly dive, it's going to go like this. Okay? So if this camera angle is actually wide enough, we may be able to see the whole thing. Now I will tell you that what we're seeing here, this is one of the bigger tails photogenically. The tail of this comet is huge. It's just big. I showed you guys sun divers on here before, what it looked like. I had to zoom in and put filters on some things to let you guys even see it. It was like one of these little dots going into the sun. This is not that. Okay? This is on a different level. So I just want everybody to understand that. So, but thank you. Thank you guys for being here for me. I hope to continue to get better. And listen, please come back and support me on the morning videos. Okay? Please. I really need that. I want this to work, because when I was building my channel, guys, hey Mary, when I was is that air raid? Oh, okay. Never mind. I gotcha. Okay. When I was building this channel, or just doing videos to begin with, it was just videos. Everything was edited, and this is why you guys didn't hear me squirreling, because I didn't live stream. I could edit out my squirreling. So I know people don't like my squirreling. Some people like it. I do like to talk to you guys, but I would highly encourage you guys to please become a member, because we do have a good time in there, and that is one of the best ways to support the channel. It truly is. It just is. It's that simple. I don't do any kind of promotional ads or anything like that. I'm not an affiliate with anybody. Not to say that I wouldn't be. I could in the future. I've actually had some pretty bigger names reach out to me, and I had to tell them no. So that's just what I'll say there. And we're talking like, well, yeah, we're talking like big corporation. That's happened to me twice. That typically will happen with a lot of YouTubers anyway. Once you hit a certain number, but I've never done any affiliate stuff ever. So that would be all new to me if I did something like that, and I don't want to do it unless I completely understand it and I know that the product I would be whatever affiliating myself with would be good and all that. So, well, you were talking about probiotics. There's actually a I can't remember what the company. I think it's AU is what they actually call the company. Derek Byeri over at Vice Grip Garage. If you guys don't know that channel, go over to check out Vice Grip Garage. But he's an affiliate with it, and he takes its multivitamin and dumps it into water every morning, and it looks like green sludge. But this person, you know, I trust Derek because he's just, you know, sometimes you just know that you can trust certain people, right? And he's got a family of 3. He's done things the right way on YouTube, and his channel is huge now. It's over 1 million subscribers. But at the same time, you can tell that he's down to earth. And so I trust him. But anyway, that's what he did over there with that affiliate on that one particular thing. And he said it made a huge difference in his life, especially if you're a man. Because that's what he was. It was basically a male multivitamin. But it had probiotics and everything else in there. But they also had women products. So anyway. So guys, I'm not sure if I'll do a morning video tomorrow. Because it's already after midnight. So I don't know how much more I could show anybody. You know what I mean? In only about 6 or 7 hours from now. If something does happen here overnight, I definitely will do a morning video. I plan on having that posted at 8 o'clock. Roughly 8 or 9, right in there. And again, guys, it's only going to be about 10-minute video of just me telling you, hey, this, and this happened. This is what the data is. This is what the model's showing us. And I'm going to move right on. And I'm going to have, I want to make it like really cool edited stuff. So we can, you know, so I can add some entertainment there for you guys. But please come back to the live streams at night too. If I notice that things are starting to slack off on one end or the other, I may have to quit doing one or the other. You know, but it just is what it is. So, anybody that donated today, thank you guys so much with the super chats, Planet Hermit, and who else donated memberships? Or was it just super chats after that? I know Jeremy did. Let's see here. Hold on one second. I don't want to like not. Okay. Let's look. Okay, it shows me here. Jeremy with the free super chat there, and then Planet Hermit, 8 months, 9 months for Jeremy, 9 months for Mist, and Jeremy with the $5 super chat, and then Planet Hermit with the 10 gifted memberships, Micaiah, 72 with the $20 super chat, Hope Between the Dreams, $10 super chat, Jeremy with the $5 super chat, Kathy's been a member for 6 months. Thank you guys so much for that. I mean, I can't tell you how much. Yeah, you watch. I didn't know you watched Vice Grip Garage and Mist. I didn't know that. That is so cool. It really is. I love it. Me and my wife will sit there and watch him for hours. He does road rescues, guys, basically. He'll find cars that are in a barn or just, they won't run. And they've been sitting there for years. And he'll go buy them, and he'll actually fly to the location, buy like a little tool thing, go to the car, fix it, and then drive it home. But yeah. No glasses? Yeah, it's funny you say that. Or is there a thing in here, no glass? Is there a account in here, no glasses or something? I'm not sure about no glass, but he did. He actually got a piece of rust stuck in his eye, and he almost lost his sight. But anyway, guys, let's go ahead and pop off here. Thank you guys for all the support, always. But again, guys, anything happens, I'll be back as soon as I can get here. And so just know, like I told you guys last week, this coming, well, starting tomorrow, it's going to be a pretty rigid schedule I'm going to be on. And there's going to be times I can't hit those numbers, or hit those time slots. But I will 100% always come here and tell you guys, hey, I might not stream this day or whatever, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So, God bless. Yahusha saves. Hey, miss, also be looking in the mail here in the next few days. I'll let you know, okay? And you, hey, what date exactly is your surgery? Can you put that in the chat for me real quick? Anyway, God bless. Yahusha saves. And as always,